Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode, a very special episode of Teamwork a Better Way. I'm Christian Napier, and I'm joined by my lifelong friend and co-host Spencer Horn. Spencer, it's an honor to be with you on this very special day. How are you?
Great, back at you. So excited to be with you today, and I'm so excited because you and I we get to do our favorite lunch today at Red Iguana. Yes.
That is correct. So there are three amazing things happening today.
Oh,
Number three is the opening ceremonies of the Milano Cortina Olympic Games occur this
yes,
evening.
yes.
Super excited about that. Number two, we get together with our friend Patrick, which this is a tradition we've had for more than 20 years, going to Red Iguana and having our
That's
mole.
right.
And then the top of it all is we have probably one of the most amazing, impactful guests that we've ever had on this show. We've been doing this now for 6 years, Spencer. Can you
Six
believe that
years in a couple of
we're actually
weeks.
going into our seventh year here shortly?
I
I'm
know.
just super grateful for this opportunity that we've had to speak to so many amazing people. But man, what a way to kind of send off the 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 well, I don't
Sixth
know,
season.
this season, yeah, the sixth
Yeah.
season, and start our new season with Chad Hymas. I mean, I'm just over the moon excited for this conversation. And Spencer, why don't you go ahead and do
Me
the
too.
honors?
I'm going to add him on the screen while we talk about him, so he can blush a little bit. But Chad, I've known for a few years, and he yes, you're going to hear all his bio. We could spend literally an hour talking on his bio, Christian, and those of you listening. I had the opportunity to spend last Saturday a couple of hours with him. And he travels literally all over the world. Last night, where were you in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan? Did you say, Chad? And he travels the world. It amazes me. Not only is travel difficult, but in the conditions that he does independently are just so amazing, inspiring. You'll learn about that in a moment. But Chad comes to our event last Saturday and didn't get in until 3 in the morning, and literally spent all night preparing for our event. And just when his audience are other speakers, these are people that are learning about the art of speaking. And Chad, Christian, has every single one of us in tears, and just because he's so good at connecting with people and with audiences, and his message just resonates, and it's life changing. Wherever he goes, he is changing lives for the better. He inspires, he motivates, he moves, as I just described, audiences, creating an experience that touches hearts for a lifetime. I mean, when you hear his stories, I mean, you will always remember those. And he's one of the youngest ever speakers to achieve what's called the Council of Peer Awards of Excellence, which is basically the Hall of Fame award for the National Speakers Association. And he's internationally acclaimed as a speaker. He's a best-selling author, passionate advocate for safety and personal empowerment, which, of course, we love. And he set a world record back in 2003, and I hopefully you'll describe that for us, Chad, where he rode his wheelchair from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas, 513 miles, and
That was a stupid, very, very stupid goal. I'm not really proud of that, but
but is that a world record nonetheless? But he's a sought after keynote speaker. So those of you who are looking for people to move and captivate your audience, Chad is here, and he's written a book, a best-selling book called "Doing What Must Be Done." He just shares the remarkable journey of resilience, and I mean, I want to just say just a couple more things. He is somebody that everybody that I know looks up to and admires and honors for his integrity, his commitment, his generosity. Anyway, I'm just so glad to have you, Chad. Sorry, I hope I haven't slobbered on you too much.
the
I could
honor's
keep
mine.
going.
The honor's mine. I'm grateful. We're gonna have some fun today with this, and congratulations. I love Red Iguana. I think that's cool. I love the Olympics. I'm a sports freak. We have the Olympics. We have the Super Bowl this weekend, right? So it's a big weekend right now if you're a sports you're into sports at all. And
Chad, did you know though that Christian has been consulting with the International Olympic Committee and the local?
Oh, I didn't know that.
For since the Salt Lake. I mean, even before the Salt Lake Committee. So he's been doing this for over 20 years, all over the world. And he's actually working. He's been working to help bring the Olympics back to Salt Lake in 2034.
Well, keep working, Christian, because we need one thing for that 2034 Olympics we are not getting this year. You know exactly what that is.
Yeah, H2O is in very short supply.
I'm just saying, we have never seen it like this, and so maybe that's a great way to just kick this sucker off. As a western coast, west of the Rockies, we are asking for the thoughts and prayers of everybody listening to provide us with the water that we so are in desperate need of. And I'm not talking about watering lawns and flowers per se. We just need it to suffice the population of the people that are here and the animals that are raised here, so that they have enough water to drink. That's how bad we are right now. And so we're that said, though, all the Olympics and that stuff, that will come in, and we'll definitely have the snow. And this is just one of those years. It's probably a down cycle, but hopefully we get some. We're looking at a snowstorm coming in possibly on Monday this week, and that will be a blessing that we've been praying for a long time.
I sure hope so. You know, Chad, you are on the Teamwork a Better Way podcast, and our title today is Stronger Together, really focused on resilience, trust, and leading that last. You always say, or you often say this, that one can go fast, two can go far. What does that mean to you in really the context of leadership?
I think you opened up with something very, very powerful in that you mentioned that I travel, and I travel a lot. And maybe a key component of that is that I travel alone. And I take pride in that, Spencer and Christian. I do. I travel alone. But yet my body is 95% numb. So I am in a push chair. I use knobby tires. You can see the tires right here. So they are mountain bike tires, which allows me to have friction to push the chair. But I do travel alone, which when we say, one go fast, two go far, that begs the question, if I'm traveling alone and I'm going to Upper Michigan, or I'm going to Atlanta or Beijing or Tokyo, wherever I'm going, if I'm going to Tucson or wherever I'm going, how do I get on an airplane? How do I get off the airplane? How do I get out of my vehicle when I'm at the airport to get to the airplane in the first place? Who helps me get my laptop through the x-ray machine? How do I get the pat down? How does that work? How do I get in the Uber vehicle once I arrive there? Because I don't get in a special ADA vehicle. I order Uber and I get in the Uber. Once I get in the Uber and get to the hotel, how do I get out of that Uber and get into the hotel and check in with some luggage as well? And then take those bags up to the room. And if I'm going to stretch out after being on an airplane for a while, I need to do that on a bed. How do I get on a bed when my hands are numb and I don't have triceps or biceps or any forearms? How does that work when I travel alone? And back to your statement, there's always somebody there. In the last 25 years that I've been traveling, and I do travel a lot, and I say that with all due humility and gratitude. There's always somebody there that's willing to help me out, and I will find those people. Spencer, those are the names that should be in Guinness Book, not mine. Those names, and I believe that they are. They might not be in Guinness Book that we read, but I think they're in God's Guinness Book. And I hope I'm not trying to preach religion to you. Please don't hear that, folks. But I just want to thank you for respecting my right to believe what I believe. And I believe that God records all the people that help me get to where I need to be. Because I am driven, and I can't stay in one place. I just have a hard time doing that. It's just my personality. And there are people all over this world that I've never met before, but I will meet them again one day that have helped me. When I'm just traveling just one leg, just without a layover, just one leg, 26 different people will help me from point A at the house to point B once I arrive at the hotel and I'm stretching out. That's 26 people. That's without a layover. With a layover, you can add 17 additional people. So just do the numbers on that with just one trip. And I think that's rather phenomenal. So
how do you even plan for that extra time? How sometimes do you have a delay in finding someone to help, or does it just
absolutely
show up in time?
There's times I've gotten to the airport or gotten to the hotel at 2:00 in the morning, And let's say it's a courtyard. Well, how many people are working at a courtyard or a Fairfield at 2 a.m.? Just the auditor.
One.
Just the auditor. Yeah, that's it. Just the auditor at the front desk. And I will never ask a lady to help me. I don't do that. I don't want to put her in a bad spot. But to tell you that ladies have not helped me would be a lie. I've had a lot of females help me, and I'm grateful for that. But I will not ask for that. But sometimes their hearts are so compassionate, so that, and I'm very professional about it. I don't want to put them in a bad spot. I know that, and so there's no. I'm trying to be appropriate here. They're not in a bad spot where there's revealing of anything that's private or anything like that. It's not like that. I have waited at a hotel in Palm Beach and sat there in the Uber and just paying the Uber driver. And I've seen two kids walking down a street road. And I've had the Uber driver drive way over where they're at and say, hey, if I get you guys some dinner tonight, you guys can go grab something. Can you help me out for 5 minutes over to that hotel? I've done that. And those say, hey, we'll help you. We'll help you out. I've had people help me like that at 2 a.m. Now, generally, if it's during the day, I don't have to worry about that. There's always people going in and out of the hotel. There's, if it's a bigger hotel, there's bellman, there's valet, there's the janitor that's cleaning. Sometimes there is a guy doing sheets, doing the wash at the hotel. I will always find somebody. Easier to do it between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Now, that's easier for me to do that. When I go out and get into the Uber, I am scoping people out. And I am scoping.
Christian, do you ever feel like we take a little bit for granted as we travel to and from?
Well, definitely. For sure we do. But you know what? I love this theme, Chad. Spencer mentioned this.
With other people. I am so much better, Christian, with other people. And that's why I watch my weight. I need to keep my weight under 165 so that I can be lifted, right? So I can be lifted because I get into an Uber, right? So I got to watch stuff like that.
Spencer mentioned this theme, Stronger Together, and it immediately took me back to the Olympic Games. For many, many years since the inception of the Games, the motto of the Olympic Games was Sidious Altius Fultius, right? Faster, higher, stronger. In 2021, the International Olympic Committee added the word together to the end of that. So it's now Sidious Altius Fortius Communitaire, right? Faster, higher, stronger, together. And I love this focus on, you do all you can do, but understanding that you must rely on other people. And that's not necessarily a sign of weakness, but what it is an acknowledgement of the value that other people can bring to you. And I'm wondering if you can just kind of expand on that a little bit further. The value of having and fostering and maintaining meaningful relationships. I know that's a topic that's important to you. You wrote a book, The Red Thread of Relationships. So I'm wondering if you can just kind of dive into that a little bit.
My whole life is centered around the relationships that I build. In the professional world, Christian, we call it networking. I think that's a word that's not appropriate for what I do. These people help me, and I don't like it. Please don't hear that I didn't say I'm not grateful. That's different. I'm very grateful. But there's something about the human mortal body, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, that you can all relate to this, about being independent. There's something to be said about doing things, carrying your bags on your own, getting your driver's license out of your wallet so you can show the lady at the desk, cutting up your own piece of steak, unbuttoning a shirt, buttoning up a shirt so that you look presentable for the audience you're going to go speak to. There's something to be said about doing things, bathing by yourself. Personal care, now we're going to say wiping, cleaning crevices, making sure that the body is clean and taken care of, that there's no red marks. Something that we all do, because our bodies are, they're bodies that function and they have to be taken care of. And I like to keep up on hygiene and things like that. But think if somebody else had to do that. And I'm not looking for pity or empathy. Please don't hear that. I'm just saying that these people are truly not people that I'm networking with. These are angels. Those two guys that did not plan on helping me, that then come into the hotel and help me, do you recognize that most of the time when I go to buy them dinner or give them a $100 bill, they do not want to take it? They do not want to take it. And when I flip it on them and I say, you know what, this money's not for you. Do you guys have any kids? And if they say yes, I'll say this money's for them. I want you to take your kids to Red Iguana tomorrow, and I want you to let your kids know how much they mean to you. Or take them to McDonald's for a sundae and a Big Mac or a Happy Meal or whatever. This money is for your kids. They'll take that money because it's no longer for them. And that act of kindness or service rendered to me is now on behalf of somebody that they love, and we'll do things for those we love that we won't do for ourselves. So there is a relationship of love built between me and people that I meet every day, where the word love doesn't come out of our mouths. It's not spoken outwardly, but I can feel it. I can feel it in my spirit. I can feel it in my bosom. I can feel that these people, half the time, they don't even want to leave it. Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Do you need anything else? Do you want us to go get you something? I mean, are you okay? Are you sure? I mean, they just sit there and talk to me like they don't want, and I want to just go to bed. I mean, I want to huddle the heater and I'm just ready to crash and I can take care of everything else, but they just keep asking questions and they're so grateful to be able to help me. And I'm trying to think if I've ever ran into a bad experience where, I've had people say that they're not able to help me. I respect that. I've had that happen frequently where maybe I don't recognize something. I size somebody up to help me get an Uber and they can't, maybe they're in a hurry. Maybe they don't find, maybe it's a little awkward, or they just don't feel, or maybe they have a physical injury that I don't know about. But I would say that's less than 10%, less than 5. I would say that's less than 5%. I am sizing up people that I know can handle me, mainly males and sometimes females. And you know what? It's a relationship of brotherhood and sisterhood. It's a relationship of general humanity, which is opposite what our world is going through now. We're fighting over gender identity. We're fighting over race. We're making fun of other people's race. There was a tweet that came out last night from a very high-profile person against 2 other very high-profile people. I'm not here to talk about politics or political party. I'm just saying, do you think God cares about that? I mean, do you really think that the creator of the universe thinks that one race is better than the other, or that one faith is better than the other? I've met people all over the world with different belief systems that render everything they have to me. I think that's what counts. And I think as a humanity, as a human being, if we can get somewhere near that, I don't know if we'll ever get all the way there. There's so much division and so much negativity and so much on social media and so much false things that are said, false things that are read. AI is creating false images now and creating false information. There's so many untruths and false out there. I think the core truth is just seeing people's hearts, and I get to experience that every day. And I call it love, a term that we don't say, but I can feel it. And what an honor it is for me to be used as a tool to keep love alive in a world that's dismantling it. And I'm grateful for that. God gave me just enough in my physical abilities. He gave me just enough to where I could drive to the airport and begin that process. If I had anything less than what I do today, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be alive today. But he gave me just enough. And I think there's something very special about that have allowed literally now hundreds of thousands, as we've done the math, and I've been doing this 25 years, and I just gave you the numbers. One leg, 26 people. You had a layover or 2 layovers with 17 people every additional layover. So real quick, let me just throw this in there. When I got to the airport yesterday in Detroit, coming down from the UP, 45-minute flight, get to Detroit, the plane's delayed. And they don't have space heaters, They don't have space heaters inside the terminal. I don't think they're allowed. I don't know. But somebody had a hairdryer that works for Delta, and they took me to a private office in Detroit and put that hairdryer on the desk. And I just sat down there and I got my blood warm. They brought me some chicken noodle soup out of the Delta Sky Club and brought me some hot chocolate. And I was warm within about 25 minutes, ready to fly my next leg. Think about the people that made the soup, that got the hairdryer to me, that got me the hot cocoa, and they just stood by my side. Unbelievable to me. And I get to experience that every day of my life.
You know, Chad, you talk about this concept of how much of our self-worth comes from our ability to be independent, right? I mean, there's no doubt that our confidence comes from our ability to accomplish, to achieve, right? Yet you've just demonstrated, so much gratitude for people who help you. And I know that you love going out on the road because in a way it's you asserting your independence. But your ability to actually build relationships that reflect that love back to you is one of your superpowers. I mean, you are creating relationships, and and you do it so quickly. And I know how competitive you are. And this is not a negative. I also know that you're not a very patient individual. Yet you have the patience of Job, even though that's not something that I know you want to have to exhibit. You do it, and you're able to connect with people so powerfully. And I really want to focus on this for a minute, because there's this idea. I say it a little differently than you. I talk with business leaders all the time, Chad, about this idea that they are so focused on efficiency that they're not being effective. You call it, that's my interpretation of what you do, and that is many leaders focus on speed and results, that they're not creating sustainable progress. And instead of they're just focused on immediate wins, and they're not creating an environment that sustains their ability. You've been doing this for 20 plus years. You are able to create relationships where people they don't want to leave you. They want to stay with you. They want to help you. They want to serve you. And ultimately, as leaders, we want people. I talk about my great mentor, Kelvin Cullimore, all the time. I would do anything for him. He would ask me to. I worked 80 hours a week regularly when he's like, you don't have to do that. But I needed to, because the demands were high. But I wanted to, because of the relationship that I had with him, because of the commitment I had for him, because it was a joy to be able to serve. And so I'd love for you, if you don't mind, just talking about this idea of focusing on speed and results versus sustainable progress, which is so much more important. Can you give your perspective on that?
Great question. I'll do the best I can. You're right. I'm not very patient, and I do like to see results quickly, but it doesn't always. There is value in the power of incrementalism. There is value in working smarter and not faster or harder. There is value in looking at the little accomplishments that turn out to be actually rather big things in the end. I'll give you an example. You talked about that world record marathon. That's been, 23 years ago. It's been 24 years ago. And I remember, as we were approaching Las Vegas just after Mesquite, Spencer, and Christian, it got hard. It got hard before that, but at that point, just outside of Mesquite, you can see Las Vegas in the nighttime sky. The lights from Vegas tend to be seen from the moon, so I've heard. I've never been an astronaut or been to the moon, but they say it's so bright in Las Vegas that you can see Vegas from the moon. And I would believe it because I could see it from just outside of Mesquite. And so I knew that Vegas was close, but there came a time where I stopped my wheelchair after pushing close to 420 miles. There's 87 miles left to go from Mesquite to Vegas at the Mirage, which is where the race was going to end. That's where the world record was going to end. I stopped at about 2:30 in the morning because we were racing at night because it was so hot during the day. So it's the middle of the night. I stop in the middle of the road. I'm by myself pushing, but there's a motorcade behind me. There's a motorhome. My dad's there. The driver's there. My parents are there. My siblings are there. They're in the motorhome. Half of them are probably asleep. My dad's sitting in front of the seat, keeping an eye on me. There's a highway patrolman from Nevada in the front, highway patrolman from Nevada in the back, and there's a few other pilot cars with lights. And we're on I-15. We're on the highway, right? And I stop, and I am exhausted. I got blisters and bloody fingers. We swapped gloves a bunch of times. I had fallen out of my chair right before Cedar City, had to run to the hospital and get stitches in my back. It didn't hurt. I can't feel my back, but I lost a lot of blood. And so I think that had gotten to me a little bit, even though I wasn't in pain that way. I was just tired. I was tired, and I was done. And I stopped, and my dad came out and said, "Everything all right? You okay?" And I said what Forrest Gump said in the movie. I said exactly what Forrest Gump said. I said, "I think I'll go home now." Forrest Gump said that after running back and forth from ocean to ocean and then from Mexico to Canada. He just stops in the middle of that road. If you remember in the movie Forrest Gump, he says, "I think I'll go home now." And that's how I'd like to think that I'm tired, Dad. Who would fault me? I've gone further than we all thought that I'd go. We actually set a record. It's just not the big celebration at the Mirage. I'm done. He said, "Son, I want you to know that I'm proud of you." He said that to me. And I didn't finish the race as per the plan. But he said, "Son, I am proud of you. Are you okay if I carry you back to the motorhome, set you on the couch, and let's get you some Gatorade, and let's talk for a minute?" That's all he asked. That was it. He didn't say, "I want to try and convince you, convert you, change your mind." He just said, "Are you okay if let's go back and let's visit the motorhome. Let's get you cooled down a little bit." So he carried my limp body, left the wheelchair outside there, right on the road. Cops are stopped. Everybody's kind of stopped. What's going on? And they just watch my dad carry me, and he picks me up and carries me to the motorhome. Sits me on the couch. They bring me out a blue Gatorade, was my favorite, and I start drinking that Gatorade, and I'm a little bit feeling good because my dad said he's proud of me. My dad said this. Instead of going on about being proud, he said this question. He said, "Son, how have you been measuring your success?" Now remember, we talked about here in the beginning of the question about sustainability, about working faster, working harder, and those companies don't seem to sustain. And I totally agree with you, Spencer. I could not agree more. My dad says, "How have you been measuring your success?" I said, "Dad, I've been working my butt off, working hard. I'm counting all the mile markers. That's how I'm measuring. I'm counting how much money we're making in the bank. I'm counting all the green mile markers. I know right where I'm at. I know how much money I've made. I'm trying to make this relative to the business world. I know where we're at this year. I know what kind of production, where we're at net-wise, profit margin-wise. I know where we're at after EBITDA. I know where I'm at. I'm a mile marker here. I've got 87 to go." He said, "Son, that's impressive. But what if I were to put some blinders on you, like a Clydesdale horse, so you can't see the money coming in anymore, and you start seeing only the yellow stripes in the middle of the road? For our business professionals, it would be the people that work for you every day. You got blinders on. You can't see the EBITDA and the green money coming in, but you can see in front of you the people that are working for you to make this all come to fruition. Son, I don't want you to look at the mile markers anymore. I want you to count the people that are helping you. I want you to count the yellow stripes." I said, I don't know, Dad. I don't. "Son, I'll take you home if you want to, no problem. But if you're willing to give it a shot, you might find some energy within yourself that you did not know that you had. You might find some self-inspiration that I can't give you, son. But you'll find it deep within yourself that you never thought you had, and you will find gratitude and momentum that nobody can give you but you. But if you don't want to do it, fair enough. I love you the same no matter what, and I'll turn this motorhome around. We'll get on the other side of the road, and we'll get you back home." I said, "Dad, I'll try it. But Dad, if I get tired, come get me and let's go." "Son, deal." And we shook on that. And I went out that night and I pushed a little over 2,300 stripes. Went back out that next night, day number 9, and I pushed a little over 8,400 stripes. On a day number 10, I pushed 11,342 stripes. It's written in my book. And on that day, we hit Apex Junction. Apex Junction is the last hill before Las Vegas. We're only 17 miles away, and it's all downhill from there. They shut the strip down for me, Spencer. Christian, they had a helicopter above us filming. It was unreal. And at 9 o'clock that morning, I gave one last little oomph from the hill, one push, and all I had to do was steer downwards. The police motorcade, the motorcycles, they had the stoplights blocked off for me, and I coasted my way to the Mirage. Coasted. People running out of different kinds of casinos because they were seeing it on the TV screens. Now, granted, they were all drunk because they'd been drinking a lot, but I didn't care if they were drunk. They were cheering me on. And when I crossed that finish line of the Mirage with all those people following me, there went up a cheer from a bunch of strangers, drunk, non-drunk, gambling all night. There went up a cheer that made me weep. And I remembered what my dad said was true. While the difficult in life takes time, because we work hard and we're doing things not necessarily the right way, or we're looking at the money coming in, we're not rewarding the people that are actually making the money. While that difficult thing takes time, the impossible takes a little bit longer if you'll recognize what's right in front of you. And that's a quote from Art Berg. And my dad gave that to me, and that's hanging right up here in my office, so I see it every day when I'm in my office. While the difficult takes time, what's impossible just takes a little bit longer. And as you all know, that's true, because sometimes I just have to wait a little bit longer to find the help I need to get into a hotel. While the difficult...
Sorry, Chad. Say it again.
So while the difficult takes time, the impossible takes just a little bit longer. And I hope that our listeners remember that.
I love that. I love that. Let's revisit this seminal moment, the conversation that you had with your father. Spencer talks about this a lot. You know, the reflecting on what Clayton Christensen said about management being the noblest of professions.
Yes.
We have an opportunity to be that person for those who we interact with in our work, you know, whether they're our subordinates, our peers, or whatever, who could be in a difficult moment. And our words could make the difference. And sometimes we look at being a manager as a rather unglamorous thing. People don't, generally speaking, like their bosses. But the story that you just shared makes me think that we could have and we do perhaps have a much greater impact on the people that work for us and the people that we serve. A bigger impact than we realize. And I'm just curious how you see the experience that you had with your father that night on I-15, how that, and I know the circumstances are unique in many ways, but are there lessons that you think we can take from that experience and apply those lessons to, you know, the relationships that we have in the workplace with the you know, our employees, our team members, our leaders, our clients? I'm wondering if you could just reflect on that a little bit.
Let's see if we can't come up with them together, as all three of us. So how about the power of incrementalism? The little things that we do, the yellow stripes.
Celebrate sooner.
Celebrate sooner, right? It's the little things that we do. I didn't start traveling the world because I'm stronger than anybody. I didn't start traveling the world because I wanted to be a speaker. I just wanted to be a farmer. I didn't start traveling the world because I had the money to pay for all the plane tickets. Nothing. There wasn't one big grand event that all of a sudden put me on these stages across the world. It's the little things that I try and do consistently. There's your key word, every day, that compound upon itself that allow those things to happen. So I try and make 10 new contacts a day. And the same goes for my office staff. They need to hit a quota and meet or talk to 10 to 20, maybe 30 new potentials every single day to hit that, to build those relationships, to grow our, I guess in the workplace we call it brand, but how about just to grow our relationships, to grow our base, to grow our people that like what we have to offer and that maybe we can contribute and that we can find something they have to offer to us as well. So it's the little things that we do. We've all heard this: consistency compounds. If we don't do it one day, we're going to get to where we get used to not doing it for 2 or 3. We must do it every day. So there's 2 lessons: the power of incrementalism, consistency compounds. Number 3, persevere. We all go through challenges and trials. We all go through depression. We all go through the downer days. You honor those downer days by trying to get out of those slumps quickly and focus on what you still have. I can focus on what I've lost, and you can see I think I've lost quite a bit in my life. At least, I think I've lost everything, at least a couple of times. There's no better place to start than when you've lost something. It's a great place to start. And you honor losses by the way you live your life moving forward. If you've experienced the loss of divorce, the loss of maybe you had a bad month in business, or 2 months or 3 months, or maybe a bad year. How about the loss of a loved one? God forbid, some of you've gone through that. You honor losses by the way that you work on your mindset and live your life propelling forward. Elizabeth Smart is a great example of that. Mr. John Walsh of America's Most Wanted is a prime example of that. People that have experienced massive loss. Right now, Savannah Guthrie, the loss of their mother. It would be interesting to see if they find her or not, and if they don't, how they honor that loss by new things that they start to do and implement to help others to not have to go through that kind of pain. You honor losses by the way you live your life moving forward. Prayers to Savannah and her family right now as they look for her mother who has been kidnapped. I'm just throwing things out there.
So I have a couple. Those are great, and I have a couple more. But is it really, those are things that you did. But I think one of the things that your dad really did that speaks back to what Christian referred to, Clayton Christensen, is what causes people to love what they do and have that desire to sustain their energy that you did is knowing that they're appreciated. And your dad did that in such a humble and powerful way, even though that was such a small thing to say. I'm so proud of you. When you know that you are appreciated and valued, what does that do for you, Chad?
Well, and that I'm not going to be judged if I choose what he is not going to want.
Right.
If I choose to say, I think, Dad, I appreciate the talk, but he would have taken me home, and he would have still been proud of me. I know that. To this very day, and it's been 25, 26 years since I've been in a chair, my dad is now 75 years old, 76.
Yeah.
There's not a day that goes by that he doesn't call me up on my phone. He called me this morning, 6:30. Son, where are you farming today? Every day it's the same question.
That's,
Son,
again, how much he loves you and how much he cares.
Right. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say I love you, but I feel it. I never hear the word. I don't think I've ever heard my dad say I love you. But I get a call from the 76-year-old man that says, son, where are you farming today? Dad, I just got home from the UP. I'm in the office. I have a podcast today. Shondell and I have date night tonight. Dad, we're going to go to the temple. And then, Dad, we might go see our new grandchild. Dad, I'm home today. It's a catch-up day, Dad. Son, take your rest. Get yourself feeling better. Stay warm, son. Son, I just want you to know that I'm very, very proud of how you farm. I better go now, son. Hope you have a good day. Bye. I mean, that is it. It is quick. It's 30 seconds tops. But he never misses a day out of 7 days. Never. My dad never has to tell me that he appreciates me because it's demonstrated by his behavior. Now relate that to the workplace. Don't go out to your manufacturing plants or wherever it is that you work in your office buildings and start telling the people in their cubicles that you love them. It doesn't come across very well. It's not authentic, and it certainly isn't real. Show them. Demonstrate it by your gratitude. Call them into your office. Ask them how things are going. What are some of the challenges they're faced with? You'll find more often than not, they're not looking for a pay raise. They're not looking for more money. They just like what's meant. They just want to feel appreciated. And I feel that every day when I wake up. What a great way to wake up in the morning. That's a great way to wake up. I get out of bed and I know automatically at 6:30 in the morning, my phone's going to ring and somebody is proud that I am alive and I'm doing it. It motivates me to get going on with my devotional and get going on with my day because that's the first thing that happens before I do anything else.
Chad, one of the things that I've seen you do is you ask people about their family. So, do you have kids at home, and how old are they? And so, think about that as a manager calling somebody into your office. Tell me about your kids. How are they doing? And hey, what have you done fun with your kids lately? You know what? You've been working so hard. I would love for you. I'm just taking something that you said the other day. I would love to see you go home and take them some ice cream. Why don't you tell that story? In other words, you do something for those people's children and know that you care about them. I don't know. What would that do, Christian? I mean,
I love to hear the story.
A boss calling up somebody in the office saying, you know what? I realize how grateful I am for all you do for us in the office. I'm going to give you a $20 bill. Now, that might seem pretty minuscule and almost offensive at first, but listen to the purpose of the $20 bill. This $20 bill, Mr. or Mrs. Johnson, is not for you. I need you to take this to the store today and get some ice cream, a couple of bananas, some caramel, some hot fudge, and get a Kit Kat and a Butterfinger. Some whipped cream, too. Now, when you go home, will you tell your kids that you had a meeting with your boss today? And that while you were meeting with your boss, that you realized you spend most of your time away from your kids whom you love the most. And you spend it with me, your boss. And I just want your kids to know how grateful I am that they allow you to do that and that they should be proud of themselves. It will benchmark those kids to a higher level because they'll become the mom and the dad of the house. Easy way, and every boss should do that with every employee. I'm just saying now those kids, mom and dad aren't so worried about some of the challenges that they're facing. The next time those kids are faced with depression, racism, suicidal thoughts, a fight at school, bullying, whatever that might be, what are they going to know? My mom and dad love me, and my mom's boss or my dad's boss recognizes that I have self-worth and self-value. And that's how they fight that off. But it's got to...
You're right. It does need to be authentic. I know I cut you off there. I get excited because I want people to, to hear that message. But so that's one thing. You show appreciation. And then the other thing that I think is amazing that creates sustainability is actually the chance to grow. And he did it in such a clever little way. So listen, let's try a different approach. Let's focus your energy on just the next win. Let's not look at the project that's overwhelming, right? Let's not look at that project that is creating anxiety right now. Let's do a return and report, a little bit at a time and see how that focus your energy. But what happens is when we have a goal that's a little bit above what we're capable of, when we achieve it, the tears that were there at the end, the joy that you feel of actually accomplishing something that you didn't think you could do is an incredible gift that we as leaders can give people. Give people opportunities to stretch. Trust them enough to go out and fight battles. That's a lesson I hear from you, Chad. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. Christian, you might have something to add to that as well. But Spencer, that's in the professional world. That's the way that we would word it.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm thinking about, and I know you're probably like, man, we're drawing every last drop of blood from this story, from this turnip that we possibly can. But one thing that really struck me from the experience that you shared is how your father honored your agency. And I think I work in the public sector, and in the public sector, government has incredibly awesome powers. I don't mean awesome like in like really cool. I mean, awesome is the impact that they can have on people. They have the ability to remove rights from people, to separate families, to actually terminate life. And with that awesome power, uh, we try to put guardrails in place so that things are done deliberately according to the rule of law. And I think that's a vital thing. At the same time, in our attempt to remove all risk from process, uh, we minimize people's ability to exercise agency, and because we're so afraid of the impact from these risks. And so I'm curious, in the work that you do as a leader of an organization and also advising some of the most high profile organizations and individuals on this planet, you know, how do you get people to, who are especially in positions of leadership or power, to allow those who work on their behalf to exercise their agency and not box them in through incredibly uh,
Policy and
micromanaged
procedure.
procedures, right?
Yeah, it's a catchy thing, right? Especially when you start getting into uh, union workforces where they only do certain jobs or things like that. And I get that. I think that one thing that I have always tried to express to leaders of organizations in order to get the most out of their people is to um, have them, if people mean the most to them. Okay. So I always ask, what's their greatest asset? What is their, I'll ask a CEO or an executive, what's their greatest asset? What's their answer every time? It's their people. And I said, wait a second, you've got hundreds of millions of dollars of infrastructure, you've got hundreds of millions of dollars in backlog, you've got hundreds of millions of dollars in inventory, you've got hundreds of millions of dollars in equipment out there at the laydown yard that I saw at the power plant. You've got there's a lot of money sitting here. What is your greatest asset? And they say the same thing. It's our people. I said, okay, if that's your answer, can you tell me how many of your people that are unhappy here? Can you tell me how many of your people, or you know which people, have been injured here? Do you know how many people that you've sent home overworked or stressed or dissatisfied? Do you know those numbers? If people mean the most to you, which is what you told me, sir, you told me that people mean the most. Can you tell me that? Do you know where you're at there? That the people that are out there on the floor, or are we in the desk in the CEO's office, and do we not know that answer? And they can't tell me that answer. Then I ask them another question. If you were missing $2,000 on your CEO paycheck, or $3,000, or $4,000, or $5,000, would you know it? What's their answer to that? Of course, I would know it. What they believe and what they are demonstrating are complete opposites. So if they want to have a higher production from their people, and they are saying with their lips that people mean the most to them, they need to stop giving lip service and go spend the majority of their time with the people that mean the most to them. Otherwise, it's the production and the outcome and the EBITDA and the money that they make that means the most to them. They're just saying that people mean the most to them. One of the greatest exemplars of this is a guy by the name of Vern Baker. Vern Baker is the general manager of Gold Strike Mines in Elko, Nevada. 2,300 people he's over. You will not be able to find Vern in his office, which is a very big office, got a boardroom on it, nice, decorated up. You will not find Vern Baker in his office from 6 in the morning to 11 in the morning. I think it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. He will not take a call from corporate. He will not be on a conference call. You will not find Vern Baker in his office from 6 in the morning to 11 in the morning, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Where is Vern Baker? He's in the truck driving around the mine site, talking to people like we just talked about, thanking them for what they do and finding out what they're doing great and what they need to do their job better and what they're doing successful and what are some of the challenges they're faced with. He's not promising that he can fix all their problems, but he's amongst his people and they love him for it. They love him. He's not out. Sometimes he'll take out some sodas and some pops and hand out the guys. Sometimes they'll have a bunch of pizzas in the truck to give them some lunch. But he's not trying to buy their affection or love. He really wants to sit down and have some meetings with the crews. And just say, hey, can you guys give me 10 minutes of your time? Give me some feedback on what are we doing well, what are we not, and how can we become more effective with the gold prices as high as they are? What can we do to produce better and be more efficient and effective? And what are we missing here? Can you educate me on your job? I'm not a welder. You're a welder. I mean, do we have the right tools? Do you guys have the right tools? And
people are smart, Chad. They know when you're sincere, don't they?
Absolutely. And you know what? Corporate doesn't like it.
Why? Because what you're describing here, this is really important, Chad. What you're describing here is a mindset shift. If a leader recognizes that they're not leading well, that they need to make. What is that mindset shift, and what is the impact? That you're describing it. Keep going.
You can't put a price tag on it. And corporate doesn't like the fact that they can't reach Vern from 6 to 11. They don't like it. But they can't fire him because it's the highest producing mind that they have.
See, there you go.
You can't fire him. You can't let the guy go. But he's doing what he should be doing because his greatest assets are the people. And if they feel like they're in unsafe conditions or that they need a new pin in the backhoe and it's been sitting there they're going to tell Vern that. And Vern's going to have a priority list and he's going to make sure that sucker gets on the part and gets done.
And they know that he's fighting for them, and so they fight for him. And that's the power of engagement, and that's what we were talking about. That's sustainable progress rather than, a balance sheet wins.
No, I just, every time I think about Vern and what he does, despite the pushback he gets from corporate to be on a corporate call with all the other GMs of all the other mines on a Monday at 9 a.m., Vern will not be on that call.
Oh, and they're probably giving him crap because he's not setting the example.
Well,
for missing meetings.
Right? They want him to be there. Well, they're going to have to change the time to either Tuesday or Thursday in the morning or in the afternoon when he's back in his office. But not Monday, Wednesdays. That's when his people are the busiest, and he wants to be there with the people when it's at high volume. He doesn't want to be slow. He wants to be at high volume and people are pressed for time, and he wants to take them aside and say, guys, let's just stop. I know we're pushing for gold right now. Just stop. Let's just stop work. Just stop. Let's take 15 minutes. I need to visit with you 15 people. If you guys can talk to me for a minute. How you guys doing right now? Are you tired? Is there something we can implement to maybe have it more effective here? What are we doing? It's a very easy assessment. It's like this. Vern's got this title of manager. And if you want to find out what kind of a manager he is, you could ask him or maybe his secretary. They'll tell you what you want to hear. Go ask the guys that work for him. They love him. So for us here on the phone today, on this call, on the Zoom, on this airwave call, we have titles. We're parents. That's a title. We're fathers. We're mothers who are listening. Are people better because you're around, or are they not? I can tell you without hesitation that people are better because Vern Baker is the manager of that mine site. And corporate Toronto knows that. And they can't fire. They can't get rid of him for that. He's the highest producing manager of the entire. They just want to scale and move him up, which they can do. But Vern wants to stay there with people. He doesn't have a desire to go to corporate. He doesn't have the impact there. He wants to be with his frontline people.
Kind of the law of association.
I love those little music things. Those are cool. Yeah, I got it.
You're talking about the law of association. I mean, think about it when at the end of the day, when you come home to your loved ones and the garage door goes up, what have you conditioned them? Oh my goodness, my love is home. I'm so excited. Or like, oh no, my peace is gone. I mean, what do they associate when you show up on the job site? Oh my gosh, she's here to help. She's not here to make my life miserable. Why are they here? There must be a problem. No, they're here to listen. We condition people, just like Pavlov said, we condition people every day by how we show up. Just like your dad has conditioned you to know that that he loves you, even though he doesn't say it, you feel it. We condition everybody by our actions every single day. And so those are some great nuggets, Christian. I know we're kind of getting up against it. What do you have another question you'd like to? We got to use him while he's here. We only got 5 minutes. Gosh, I can't hear you, Christian.
I can
I
give you
muted
a
my
couple
I
quick little
muted my
thoughts
mic
right
because
now.
there was some noise in the background there. I apologize. I was just curious, Spencer, if you had a lightning round planned.
I do have a lightning round. I didn't
We
even
got to
tell
get to
Chad
it because
about
we
it.
got 5 minutes left with Chad here.
All right, okay, Chad. I got 10 questions for you. These are quick, high energy, just whatever comes to mind. All right.
Do I need to have
Finish
a
this.
booster drink? Which I don't drink. I mean, I don't drink booster drinks, but I can see if I can order one up from the staff here. I mean, do I need to do that first?
No, no energy drinks. You got it. Finish the sentence. Leadership is
The ability to influence the lives of other people.
the one trait every great team needs.
The ability to come together and work together.
Your favorite quote or motto. I already know it.
Give without remembering and receive without forgetting is one of them.
Yes, and also that hard takes time.
While the difficult takes time, the impossible just takes a little longer.
That's right. Your last book that changed your perspective.
The Art of War.
The Art of War. Solo achievement or team win? What's more fulfilling?
It took all of us to get that little baby born this week and get it out of NICU. We all had to be calling and supporting. It took all of us. It wasn't just the mother, although she did the hard work, right? It is a team effort. It always
Well, I knew you were going to have a grandbaby, so congratulations.
Baby's out of NICU. Mom and Dad got to take the baby home last night. My wife is there in support. It's a team. We're all there to help, and we're not. No one's alone. We're there to help. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, I know the answer to this. But for those who of us who don't drink coffee or energy from within. Just what's your point?
I might just say coffee on this one. I've never had it, but I hear it does pretty good. Some people get up and they can't function without their coffee. I can't function without getting a phone call from my dad. So that's my coffee for the morning.
That's awesome.
My phone call is my coffee. So caffeine free too, no milk, no sugar. Pretty good.
Most underrated leadership skill.
Most underrated leadership skill is simply the ability to see that you have the power within yourself to make change. Underrated. Way overlooked.
What inspires you right now? Possibly that little brand new baby. I don't know.
I want my wife to be able to live her passion, which is serving other people, and she likes horses. I'm driven to let her do that because she's been serving me for the majority of our married life. Yeah. And I want her in this last phase of our life, the last 20 years or 25 years, to be able to create her desire to do therapy with autistic kids and horses and serve others as she does so well. Meals on Wheels 3 times a week, the old folks home once a week, the temple of God 3 times a week. She's in the temple working. That's her passion, and I want to back that up. She's been serving me for ever, way more than I would have liked. I want her to go and let me support that.
Brilliant. One word people use to describe your talks.
Experience.
They are experience. What's your superpower in one sentence? I know he's a humble guy, so these are awkward for you, so I'm doing it on purpose. Get you out of your comfort zone.
My superpower in one is to be able to say that I'm sorry when I don't like receiving help from those that I'm closest to.
Yeah.
I am quick to say, I recognize that I'm wrong right now. I think that's a power. That's a gift. I don't like to let those feelings last long. I have a hard time receiving help from those that I'm closest to.
But you know what? I'm going to add to that, Chad. One of the things that I didn't have a chance to ask you about is the importance of vulnerability. And you have it. Even as you were describing what it's like to care for yourself, Christian, you felt that openness and that vulnerability. And that's something that we need more in leadership, is the ability to say, this is hard for me. But that's an emotional intelligence skill that you have, Chad. You've learned it. You're able to actually say what you're feeling, and a lot of people really struggle with that. But that's a powerful thing that you have: vulnerability, resilience, and I'm so grateful for the time that you spent with us this morning. Christian, what do you got?
The last question for you, Chad, as we wrap it up here. is if people, leaders, organizations, if they are interested in connecting with you to see how you can help them uh, to become better at whatever they do, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
I would love to connect and talk with you. Just Google my name, Chad, Chad, Hymas, Hymas, Hymas. Do we get to listen to that little play thing again, that little musical thing where you hit the button with it? I love that. I got to do one of those. I got to figure out how to do that.
You know what?
That's
We
why
can help you.
do that.
Yeah, we'll help you with that. And you'll get one last one when we'll play you out here in a second. Spencer, you've been helping organizations build high performing teams for decades. If people are interested in learning how you can help them, how should they reach out?
Just message me on LinkedIn, Spencer Horn. Give me a shout out there, and we'll put Chad. We'll put links to your your website on the show notes so people can reach you, and anything else. And Christian, I just Chad. I hope you know now what an amazing individual he is. I just love being with this man. He's such a great guy, such a deep thinker. He makes such an impact wherever he goes. So how can people find you, my friend?
LinkedIn as well. Just happy to connect with anybody there, and I really appreciate this. And I know this. I'll be accused of recency bias, Chad, but this is on my Mount Rushmore of our episodes. Thank you
That's
for
really
making
nice.
such an impact. We appreciate
Thanks.
your time,
It's an
and
honor.
listeners and viewers, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us for this hour. Please like and subscribe to our podcast. We'll catch you again soon.
Hang on one more second, Chad, before you go.